guess let's go ahead and get rolling. Welcome to the Aspen Gathering, the first one of 2024. And yeah, Cal posted the meeting notes. Let's get right into the Aspen updates in an instant. Share. All right. Lots of good stuff in addition to all the good food that we had over the last few weeks. We got lots of stuff done in Aspen. So we did have a couple of patch releases, nothing major, just some little cleanup-y things for various ILSs and that kind of thing. Feel free to check back if you want to see those. Lots and lots of good Aspen Lita stuff this time that Jordan's going to go into. And of course, lots of ILS specific things and all kinds of stuff. So let's start off without further ado, looking at some things for Evergreen. So for Evergreen, we added in the account settings some more information for the contact information as well as the preferred name. So now you can see the preferred name and all of the address information, phone number, et cetera, is showing. That preferred name is also used up in the upper right corner there for the user that is logged in. So cool stuff there. We also added support for displaying information about card renewals. There's a couple of different ways this can work. So for CW Mars, we added Kipu's e-renew functionality. So when the patron is expired or close to expiration, depending on what you set, you can show e-renew if you've purchased that product from Kipu. That will automatically show in. You can also direct them to any URL you want. So if you've got card renewal policies or a form on your site, you can direct them over there to do the process, fill out the form or whatever. So this is all configured within library systems. I'm just going to show this here. So under account renewal, we have the ability to say there's no card renewal. We can redirect to a card renewal URL. Say that 3 times fast. Or if you have Kipu set up, Kipu will be an option here as well. You then have the option to show the card renewal if expiration is close. If this is unchecked, it will only show it when the library card is actually expired. And then you can enter the URL. So if you've got a renewal form on your website, you can do that that way. Or if it's Kipu, you can just leave that blank and it'll automatically show that e-renew form. So good stuff there. Then we did a lot to make things better for administrators, especially at consortia. So, close is defined as within 30 days of expiration. So that will start showing up 30 days before. So other things we did kind of especially for consortia is the ability to copy a variety of settings. So these can be web builder pages. Here we've got the full list here. We can copy all kinds of things. Web builder pages, browse category groups, custom pages, JavaScript snippets. We can copy JavaScript snippets, I think I said, library systems, locations, menu links, placards, system messages, web resources. These all kind of function basically the same way. So let's say we're copying our JavaScript, CSS, JavaScript, and regex page. We'll click into that and then be able to click the copy button. This is going to be available to anybody that has the ability to add that type. So if I can add a web builder page, I'd be able to copy an existing one. If I can add a library, I can copy an existing one, et cetera, et cetera. So here we're going to copy that. It's going to give us some notes that says, hey, make sure to update the title in the URL. So we're going to just make this copy and customize with code. Copy. You'll see it copies all of our existing rows and cells. So you could use this to make templates if you wanted. So if you're always creating the same basic types of pages, you could do that. So and then you can choose, by default, it doesn't assign it to any libraries. The thought being you're probably going to copy this to another library, but it does keep the same audience and categories. So we'll just save those changes and keep editing. And then we can, once we're done, we can view that, it goes to the correct place. We get the customized code with copy, and we're all set. So hopefully big time saver for lots of things. I'm not going to copy every single thing because that's going to get real boring. The other one I did want to show off though is copying menus. So let's look at menu link. So here's all of our menu links. We do have the ability now to copy these because a lot of times people, especially in a consortium, will set up and say like, okay, we want all of our help menus to be the same. We want information about the consortium to be the same. We don't want to have to go through and rebuild those on every single site within the consortium. So we can now copy that. And what that's going to do is bring it up so that we can say, hey, what items do we want to copy? So maybe we just want to copy our about information, and we're going to copy those to our test library. So good way to push these to a bunch of different libraries without having to do a lot of work and recreate a bunch of existing information. So just click copy and those all copy over. And then you can go look at them there. So nice way to do that. The other thing I'm going to mention while we're here is we're going to peek ahead at some of the Aspen Lita stuff. Jordan's going to show you a little bit later the ability to show menu links in Aspen Lita. Those are set up now within the menu link section for your library. You can say, is this going to show in Aspen Discovery only, in Aspen Lita only, or both Discovery and Lita? So a little bit of a preview there. We're going to have the ability to create those same menus within Lita. Really popular requests that we've had for a lot of people, from a lot of people. So that's where that's set up. The other thing that's kind of peeking ahead to the Aspen part of Lita. So we're gonna talk about this more again, but we have the ability to select an image for a location. So here I'm in our bookmobile one. We're gonna put up an image of our bookmobile. And when we save that, we'll be able to preview this. So that's going to show up now. So there's our bookmobile. It's a little retro. And we're going to have the ability to see that within Lita. And then Jordan's going to talk a little bit about where we're going to see that in Discovery. So peeking ahead there. Also did some work with searching. So within searching, I just did a search for Lost here. One of the things that people will do somewhat commonly is say, hey, I want to search for Lost, but I know this is a DVD. So I'm going to search for Lost DVD. We've updated the relevancy for both title and keyword searching to say, hey, if we're looking for DVDs, we're going to boost those in relevancy, and we're going to include those terms to kind of help make sure those formats show up. So we can search for Lost DVDs. We can search for Lost, say, e-comic. Just kind of a nice shortcut for getting those. So get some different things there. We can do those same things for title searching. So we could say like Lost ebook, and then it makes sure that it's in the title, or Lost DVD. So just other ways to get more things there. Then another thing that we've worked on, so let me go back here to all of our submission. or all of our forms. So we've got a bunch of different forms here. One of the things that people have noticed as we get more and more usage of the custom forms is that it's been a little bit hard to kind of parse out and use some of the responses because they were previously stored in just one big text block. You got them kind of exported to you as an email, but that wasn't super useful. If we click View Submissions now, it's going to show you across the top all of the questions that you asked. So what are you thankful for? Anything else you want to share? This is just a test one. So it's from an Aspen Giving from a few months ago. So now you can see all of that information easily so that you can easily kind of scan that information to see what your responses are. The export to CSV will also then export all of those. So if you are pulling that into Excel so that you can run reports on it, you can easily get that information as well. So cool functionality there. Lucas at Tech8 did a ton of work on that. Was really good to have that done. And then the last thing that I'm just going to kind of talk about is Stripe. So we've added a new e-commerce integration with Stripe, which is a really popular e-commerce platform. So that's going to roll out with 2401 as well. And we're doing testing with that, of course, as with any new e-commerce, if you're one of the first to use it, please make sure to test. Please make sure to test it with your ILS. Make sure that those transactions are going through and that everything is updating properly on your end. So we'll be rolling that out though with 2401, which is really, really cool. We've spent a bunch of time working on that. Cody's done a lot of great work on that. Yeah, those are the big Aspen discovery things. I'm going to pass it over to Jordan to talk Aspen LIDA.
Okay, just one moment while I get my screen shared. And here we go. Okay, with Aspen LIDA, one of the things we've been talking about is when you first log in, with the shared Aspen LIDA especially, there are just so many libraries and making it easier for people to find their library, making it more performant. Before, we always had the search box, but there was a long list to scroll down if you didn't have geolocation on. And it wasn't in an alphabetical order. It was an alphabetical order, but it didn't exactly make sense to patrons. And with libraries all across the country using it, and to make it more performant, we just decided when libraries have geolocation off, that we're just going to show a search box. And this is also something that you see in apps like Libby. Last time at our last gathering, we talked about, do we want people to have to narrow by state? Do we want to have to put people through these multiple steps? In talking it through with Kirsten, the developer that worked on this, we wanted to try this first. We think that this is going to be performant enough. I'm sure all of you will give us your feedback if it's not. But right now, if you have geolocation on, it will do what it's always done. It's going to show you libraries within a 60-mile radius, whatever library is closest to you within that radius. But if you have geolocation off, and with that other way, with geolocation on, you'll still get the search. But this way, we're just going to have a search. So I have a library called Alpha. And you can see then it does pull it up. So as soon as you start to search for your library, it will give you a list to scroll through. I get all of my Alpha libraries and I'm going to choose main library. So loading that, getting through it, we think is a whole lot faster in our testing for patrons, especially within that shared, within the shared LIDA. So I'm going to go ahead and log in. Now we had a number of fixes for LIDA. This time we had fixes for notifications just to make sure that patrons were being prompted appropriately for notifications, and that they were sticking, like with their notification settings were staying. We had resetting pins for Symphony, not very exciting to show. But we're glad that it works now. For geolocation also with the nearest library, that wasn't working as well for libraries with library branded LIDA, their own LIDA. It didn't really matter so much for a library where all the libraries are within town, within that 60-mile radius. But since we have some larger consortia using it right now, it was important that that geolocation worked for the library branded LIDA as well. And also users with preferred pickup locations. Those are now set by default when patrons are placing holds with home location as a backup. So those are just a few things. I'll show you the fun stuff now, but please do check through all of the release notes. Okay, so now that we're in here, the first thing that we added is the ability to pay fines and fees within LIDA. So we will still show you your fines right here, but when you click on fines, what it's doing is it's pulling up Aspen Discovery and it is automatically logging in the patron. Now, to do a full e-commerce integration with Lita, it's a completely separate e-commerce integration than it would be for Aspen. So we support, I've even lost track. I think we added a new e-commerce platform today. I think like somewhere between 7 and 10 different e-commerce platforms. To do all of that work in Lita would be an enormous amount. So this way, we get all of the same e-commerce integrations, and it does just pop you over to Aspen Discovery. We have talked about doing maybe Google Pay or Apple Pay in the future as an option, but this gets everyone fines and fees in Lita right now. This user doesn't have any fines and fees, but obviously this is taking you to the page in Aspen Discovery. The cool thing is that it logs you in automatically, and you can do everything you need to from here. And when you're done, you just click done, and it brings you back to Lita. Okay, the next thing that I want to show you are those menu links that Mark was talking about. As he said, we've had lots of requests to link out to other sites within Lita. Now you can do that from this More menu right here. So this community link up here, it works at both levels with the link. So if it's just a link at the highest level, you can click on that and it will bring you directly to whatever link you put in your Aspen admin. And it also has the nested menus. So here we have education. I can go into video, and again, it's just going to open you up. It looks like it opens up the browser within the app, so you're not actually leaving the app. And when you're done, you just click done. So again, with all of these menu links, you have the option to add them to Aspen, Discovery, Lita, or both. So you can really link to as much as you want to here. I see that there's been some chat, so I just want to check to make sure. I see a question from Teresa saying, will their choice be static? And I'm not sure which feature that's replying to, if somebody wants to give me a little hint there.
I think that was during the login and remembering location. So I think, yeah,
Oh,
you're
so you will have to select the location every time you log in, but Lita does remember your login. So the idea is that patrons log in once and then they just kind of stay log in unless there's some reason to log out. And really, that's just a change for folks that don't want their geolocation on. Geolocation will still help them make that a little bit easier. Okay, so that's the link. So you can link to any external, as many as you want. You can have nested here. The last thing that I want to show you is an update to our contact page. So you notice this box at the top says main library. If I click on it now, we get a greatly enhanced, beautiful new page. Where Mark showed you to upload that image, that'll appear up here at the top. Information about the library, we have maps, buttons to call, email, visit the library, hours, all of the information that you have put in Discovery will automatically be loaded here. If you don't have an image, don't worry. This just very gracefully goes to the top, the main library at the top, and it looks just fine. You still get the maps. The maps are loaded by address. So as long as you have an address in there, it's going to get you a map. And I just thought this last part is really pretty. So I just want to show you how this looks in dark mode because I just think it looks so nice. So yeah, we have, that's, I think, it for Aspen Lita. And with that, I'll go ahead and stop sharing